You ever thought you'd throw hands with an antelope? Well, step up this one and you'll be thrown far worse than hands. Hello and welcome to episode 128 of the Plant Zoo Experience. Today, we will be discussing the sable antelope. Now, I usually open these episodes up with an evolutionary history, but if you've seen any of my other episodes about antelope, you'll know that there's not much really to go over. We know that they are a group of bovidae that are related to buffalo and cattle, but there isn't really a specific breakoff to where those end and the antelope begins. Honestly, the entire idea of an antelope is sort of an unofficial label. But what we do know about the sable is that their closest relatives are the roan and the now extinct bluebuck. We also know that there are 4 subspecies of sable, that being the southern, being found in central Mozambique, northern South Africa, Zimbabwe, and small parts of Angola, Botswana, Namibia, and Zambia, the eastern of northern Mozambique, southern Tanzania, and Malawi, the Zambian, which is found, as you can tell, in almost all of Zambia and the southern part of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and my personal favorite, the giant sable antelope, being found in a small pocket of Angola. Now, I've always been curious as to what sable even meant because I've heard it on a few other animals, and it turns out it just means dark or black, which makes sense, and the scientific name also complements this, with it being Hippotragus niger, meaning black horse goat. Since on the topic of the animal's appearance, let's discuss its over 40-inch horns. These are actually weapons. There's a common misconception about antelopes and their horns being defensive. In reality, others like springbok, impala, or even a wildebeest would more likely flee when confronted with a threat. But not the sable. The sable will drop to its knees, lower its head, and attempt to skewer the attacking threat, and even if a lioness or leopard manages to get on its back, the sable could turn those built-in back scratchers into daggers to plunge straight into the attacker's neck or ribs. This act of resistance and strength had led to the sable being a massive cultural symbol on southern Africa. For instance, the Zulu people straight up see it as a holy animal that was a walking connection between the worlds of light and dark. It was so revered that only great kings were permitted to hunt it, and you couldn't even wear its pelt unless you were someone of great importance. Of course, those horns weren't slept on either, as smaller ones would be used for ceremonial bows, and larger ones for ceremonial horns. This holy and royal connotation caused a wide rift between the Afrikaner and the Anglo colonists that would eventually come about, that saw it as just another beast of the bush, and was an animal meant to be hunted for its meat and hide as any other. Something you can still do in South Africa for as low as $3,500, or special ranches in the United States for a lot more, some places as high as $28,000. Now, the locals of southern Africa weren't the only ones to embrace the symbolism of the fighting antelope, as it was the national symbol of Rhodesia. For those who may not know, Rhodesia was the previous name of what is now Zimbabwe while it was part of the British realm, and for a short while under independent apartheid rule. After equal voting rights were allowed in the nation, the Rhodesians would start the Bush War of the sable as fitting to their cause. Despite that, the symbology of the sable does still live on in another state today, not Zimbabwe, but Angola. However, the Zimbabwean love for the sable isn't all lost, as the national rugby team still uses it as both their namesake and their icon. And with all that said and done, I hope you enjoyed the video. A little shorter one, as the antelope videos tend to be, but I do really like the sable. I think it is a very beautiful animal, so I wanted to find at least a little more than usual. But unfortunately, there's only so much I can do. So, until next time, go outside, touch grass, hug your loved ones, drink water, and bye-bye.